Well, hello, this is Dr. Terry Linhart, Dean of Adult and Graduate Studies, and I wanted to share just a few guidelines we have for those of you teaching in the online space. I started teaching online in 1999, back with WebCT. It was crazy, and back then people thought that the more you texted, the more you wrote online, the better your grade was. And so as a result, in the doctoral program, we had people writing pages and pages of posts online thinking that was the equivalent of getting a good grade, and so it was just labor intensive. And eventually, of course, Blackboard bought WebCT, and then in the late about 2008 or 9 we were tasked here at the college to start the online program, and I chaired that task force and was happy to bring online education to Bethel College, and it's just continued to grow, and now we have a full staff, and so just very excited for where we are today with Canvas and all the support that we have here at the college, and where we're going with our partnership with the Learning House. And so I wanted to walk through just a few guidelines that are so very important. Here's the deal. I've been in this position now for a while, and I've learned that every class, every interaction matters. Everything we do, big or small, every little detail of how we set up a course, how a deadline is posted, how assignments are worded, every little detail matters, because the experience in the online format is just so, it's a tenuous one. People are used to high quality on the internet in videos and graphics, and we're working to make sure we're excellent. We want to be world class in our quality in the online space. And so this year, that's my goal, is to help Bethel become excellent in what we do and how our classes look, how the interaction is between professor and student, how we treat students, and how we care for them in the process and help them get the education that they're coming here to deserve from all over the world. We have students now in our online space all over the world. So here are the guidelines. First off, we want to make sure that up front there's a welcome from you that's interactive in some way. It's very important. This is so critical for you to interact with students up front. And one of the best ways to do it is to have an introducing yourself part of the course. And I like to use Padlet, Padlet, and then embed that in there, so it's kind of an interactive one where I can have pictures and videos about who I am. And as I update Padlet, it updates all my courses, and we're going to actually have a training on that. Another way to do it is just have a short video from you. I'm using ScreenFlow right now on my MacBook, but there are so many easy tools for you just to record a short 90-second video just introducing yourself. I'm telling you, that makes such a significant difference in the relationship between student and faculty. And we're moving to creating and getting some plugins for Canvas to help us increase our ability to create videos. And we have a new studio on campus now where you can come, and we'll help you create some teaching videos. If you want to come for a whole day and reserve it, we can set it up where you can teach in front of a screen using your PowerPoints, and it's just like being in a classroom. And we record it to video, and we put it right in the course for you. So you're welcome to do that. Again, you're going to work with your program coordinator on all of this. So just number one, up front, make sure there's some introduction of yourself, some interactive, dynamic greeting that you can give them. It's just really important. And so that's the first thing. Secondly, we want to make sure that you have an assignment that first week that shows that students are here. And you need to express this to your students that in the online space, they have to demonstrate their learning in ways that are very different from how they think about being in a classroom. And so they actually have to show that they're there by participating in the course in a significant way, by making a post in some way or submitting an assignment. And you need to take attendance for that week by 9 a.m. on Thursday, Bethel time, which is kind of Eastern time, but I like to call it Bethel time. And the reason this is important is that financial aid and the college play a role in the online space. And part of my weekly task is taking appeals from students who are involved with some sort of financial aid related to their online coursework. They say they weren't involved in a class, but they were. They're trying to appeal so they can get a refund. There's so many financial aid dynamics and legal dynamics to this that you and I are actually playing a role in helping the college adhere to that. So it's very important that you and I, in our classes, weeks 1 and 2, record our attendance in a timely fashion. The other thing you need to know related to attendance is that students have until week 5 to drop, and after week 5 they can't drop our classes. And so we need to be very attentive in weeks 4 and 5 if students aren't participating in the course, that we do a follow-up with them. It's just really, really critical for us as a college with our financial aid and the government looking over our shoulders. So number 2 is make sure you record your attendance on time weeks 1 and 2. So very important. And also then at the end of the course, it's very important that you record your grades on MyBC on a timely fashion as well. That's just critical too. We do the grades on Canvas, but then you have to go over to mybethelcollege.edu and record the grades there. So make sure you do that as well. Again, this all involves finances and legalities. And when we move to an online situation, our attention to details in managing this part of the course is critical to the success of Bethel College and its future. Again, make sure you publish your course 1 week in advance. We have a wide range of students from a wide range of cultures with various personalities. They're not like you and I, but some of them are. And so they want to make sure their courses are available and that they're ready to go a week online. And that puts a lot of pressure on us, I know. The fourth thing I want to talk to you about is how we communicate with students. And again, there's some legal issues here, and it also is the kind of thing that protects you as a faculty member. It is going to be very important and almost a critical guideline that you use Bethel College email or Canvas to communicate with your students. Do not use your Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail or any other work account if you can to communicate with students related to things for the course. And there's 2 reasons for this. One is branding. If you were teaching at another college, say Notre Dame or Indiana or Purdue, you would be required to use their email as well, and you would want to. And that's the same courtesy that we want from our adjunct faculty at Bethel College, that you would use Bethel College email because it just presents a united front, it's more professional, and it's branding. When we start using Yahoo or Gmail, I can't control what if it's your real name or if it's like a code name like alphadog@gmail.com, and that just doesn't look as professional as your name, first and last dot, and then bethelcollege.edu. That's really important for us as an institution. It'll help us grow the programs. The second reason is that I can't protect you when you're using your private email. And when we get to the moment of appeals and I have someone saying, well, I emailed so-and-so, or we were interacting on Gmail about this, I don't have any proof of that. And you remember over the election season how people got caught using private servers for emails in our government. The same is true for us. We need to have some sort of an electronic paper trail for interactions between you as a faculty member and students. It's so very important because, again, part of what my job is we have appeals or disputes, and we get into every year we'll have some sort of issue where we have to bring in a legal team, and we want to protect you. And I think you want that too. And we want to present a professional front. In addition to that, I'm going to ask that you do not text with students related to issues of the course. You do not need to text with students from your phone if you can set up your phone to have the Bethel College email on it, or you can use Canvas. The apps are just as fast as texting, and if people have the Bethel email set up on Outlook on their phones, and we have a video to tell you how to do that, and we have people that can help you with that, then you don't need to be texting. And I've already gotten into 2 situations where adjunct faculty were texting with students, and there's just absolutely no way that I can protect or we can interact legally with that. And this is where you can get into trouble. And if you text something inappropriate on there, if someone would do that or be misinterpreted in a certain way, it just looks bad when a professional college level or graduate level program has people texting with students. It's just not the best. So the days are here now where email can happen on your phone just like a text message, and so let's take advantage of the new technology if we could. That would be so very helpful. All right, next thing on the list is in your course, it would be helpful for us for 2 things related to writing. Writing is one of the things, the ability to write papers and paragraphs and so forth. This has become an issue here in AGS where we need to help students who are going to be college educated become professional in their writing. And so I need you to do two things. Is one, to have a standard for your papers, to make sure you're checking for typos, make sure you're checking for format, asking for it up front, and then enforcing it. Not in a mean way, but just making sure that the writing is appropriate. Sometimes I teach a course and I'll ask for a paper of 6 to 8 pages in a certain format, and students will say, well, no one else has ever asked me to do. And so this is just really important for us as a college to help people learn how to write, because people will write more than they know in the future in their jobs. So we want them to be prepared for that. Follows behind that, I need you to make sure that you're watching for plagiarism, that people are not cutting and pasting from the internet. This happens all too frequently, that you're asking them to cite the sources. All of us need to just participate in this part of the college program, if you could. Lastly, I'd like you to just understand a few things related to sensitivity to students. It is not your role as an adjunct professor to determine if someone should or shouldn't be in college. It is not. Lastly, I'd like to talk to you about just general cultural sensitivity to the students we have in the course, and 3 things related to this. First, to understand that for many of these students, this is the first time they've been back to school for over a decade. And so even in the online space, it's not our job to tell them whether they should or shouldn't be in school if they're trying. And you'll have students who will do some things and you'll just maybe get frustrated. Don't punish the students. Be very patient. Be the instructor with them. It's not ours to judge them, but it's to help them and teach them. And so be the ever gracious, persistent teacher. Too often, there are instances of professors saying things to students that's not their job. On behalf of Bethel College, on behalf of the faculty, and on behalf of what God's trying to do in their lives. So let's be gracious and let them go. And secondly, understand that there are many cultures in your course. And so how we interact with faculty, how we talk online may be very different if you're from Germany or Korea than if you're from Cambodia, the Philippines, or Latin America. And so we need to be just very sensitive that there are different cultural dynamics in the online space, and to understand that. And we'll provide some further training on that, just very helpful. And then last, it's just really important that you are giving timely and substantive feedback, and that you're careful in how that is worded. Sometimes when we're used to the text space, and we're getting more and more used to texting with each other and short posts, that can carry over to our work in the online education. It's very different when you're teaching online and moving from social media. We cannot interact with students in very short bursts that don't have that come across rude. And too often we're coming across rude when we don't mean to. And so make sure you're giving timely and substantive feedback. Timely means within 48 hours. And on a discussion post, you're giving substantive feedback, not just being gruff with students and saying, look at the rubric or something. Students are in the program because they want you to teach them, even in online education. So make sure we're doing that. And that's an area that I take very seriously, that we're giving timely and substantive feedback, and that when you're doing that, you're acting on behalf of Bethel College and on the staff here in the AGS department and on the administration. So thank you for that. And we usually do a great job. And a couple of times when I've been teaching, I've had a student respond, and I went back and looked at what I wrote, and I thought, oh, that sounds worse than it should be. And so I've had to apologize and ask for forgiveness and correct or clarify what it is that I'm trying to say. Those are the guidelines. We do have a faculty handbook that we're updating, and if you have not read through that, that's super important, and we'll be updating that and sending that out in the near future. We're excited for the future of online education. We want it to be an amazing time for both you and for the students. It's a lot of work, I know. I've been doing it for a long time, but it's just great. And I think the value of what we do online is significant. The quality of education can be significant as well. So let's give it our best. If you have any questions, you can email me. My email address is Linhart, Linhart, @bethelcollege.edu. Thank you.